Hi, this is Tori from hobbysTORies. I'm going to be doing this video. It's going to be a stitch with me. I'm going to be trying to do different projects for each one. And while I am stitching, I am also going to be answering questions from FlossTube tags. The links to the tags will be below in the description box. And you'll also have a description of what I'm actually stitching that day. Sometimes there'll be more than one tag. It depends how long it is. And I'll let you know when each tag changes so that you know what I'm talking about. And it'll be in the description and the title. Okay, here we go. Hi, it's Tori from hobbysTORies. Welcome back to my channel. This channel is about cross-stitching and my other hobbies. Today is going to be a stitch with me, and I am going to be answering the tags or the questions from the original cross-stitch tag. I'll have a link down below. It's on Trisha, the Left-Handed Stitcher's blog. Okay, question 1. How did you start, or who introduced you to cross-stitch? Well, I started with needlepoint embroidery and stamped cross-stitch. I'm not sure which one. I also used to do liquid embroidery with my mom. I don't know what year it was. I was probably in late middle school, early high school, because I know I crocheted and knitted since 6th grade. So it was somewhere after 6th grade that I started. My grandma, my mom's mom, used to embroider and quilt. So I kind of picked it up from her. And I love it. And then I moved on to magazines. I never really bought a kit at the beginning. I used magazines from about the 80s on. And then one day we saw a kit in a store, and then I started doing kits too. So it's been quite a while. 2. Do you have a favorite theme or a designer? Yes. I like flowers. You can kind of see in some of my videos that I kind of have a theme of girls. So I liked Barbies, dollhouses. I collect dolls. So a lot of mine are either flowers and I never really liked fairies, but I do now. I don't know why. Fairies and angels and just Nora Corbett, Mirabilia, Joan Elliott. I love all three of them, just the faces on the girls. 3. What floss brand do you use? I use DMC. Some of the projects I'm working on right now, I'm actually going to start working with silks. Oh, and I have worked with pearl cotton before, but DMC is my favorite. And I do like Rainbow Gallery metallics over Krennic. It just stitches smoother. 4. What is your fabric of choice? Okay, I would have to go with Aida, and it would be 14 count. But I have stitched on other fabrics. I have stitched on 11 count, 10 count, 16 count, 18 count. I've stitched on even weave, and I've stitched on Lugana. Now, I did like the Lugana. That was very nice. And even weave is great. I mean, I do like it. I usually do 1/2 or 2/2 or 1/1. Depends what size I want the project to be. But I really have to wear strong glasses, a magnifying glass, and a bright light. So I do like it. I just have a hard time doing it. So 14 count Ada for sure. 5. Do you use a needle threader or are you a floss licker? Both. I will use, most of the time it's licking. It depends on what kind of needle I'm using. And when I use metallics, I usually do have to use a needle threader. And I break them a lot. 6. What kind of stitching frame do you use? Okay, well, when I first started, it was hoops all the way. I still love them. I've just now gotten back into using them. Then I switched to scroll frames. Then after I found FlossTube, I switched to Q-snaps. So I have quite a variety of Q-snaps. But they're getting too hard for me to hold. So I did buy a Lowry. I do have a, I think it's called a K's, like lap stand. I don't remember which one I bought. It's not the extendable one. It's the smaller one. And I have a couple Edmund stands. I have the one that's stationary, and then I have the one that will rotate. So if I use a Q-snap, I usually have to use one of them because my wrist hurt a lot now. I mean, I'm getting older. And so my wrist starts getting all these other problems that I have to wear braces for a while. So I've kind of switched back to hoops now that I'm doing a rotation. And I bought a couple of those spring frames. I really like them. So I kind of use a little bit of everything. I try to stay away from the scroll frames now. I do use them if they're a very big project, because I've done some very big projects. And I bought dowels at AC Moore and the hardware store so that I can make my own. I just put the tacky Velcro on there, and then I sew a piece to my project and use it that way. So those dowels do have permanent Velcro attached to them, so they are handier to use. So if I had to answer, that was a pretty long answer. If I had to answer right now, what kind of frame would I use? It would have to be hoops. I'm going with hoops. How many projects have you finished? Just 7. Wow. I have no idea. Let's see. I've been actually paying attention since 16. 17 or 18 was my biggest year. I think I had 24 finished in one of those years. Last year, I don't know. I haven't really done a calculation. I showed them all. Last year, I think I might have had 12. So altogether, maybe 200. And that's counting the couple, I think I've done 3 needle points. So that's counting them. So let's say 200 since I started, because I made presents when I first started. I don't have anything of my beginnings. 8. How many completed works do you have currently displayed? Right now, 1 in my room. Yeah, I took them all down. We're painting. So, I showed them all in my 2 videos of my past finishes. And I only have 1 hanging up right now because the bedrooms and the bathroom are the only ones that have been painted so far. So, oh, well, if you count in Coral's room, she has 1, 2, 3, 4. I think she has 5 in her room, so that would be 6. So, the rest are just on cardboard with what do you call that stuff? Mylar, I think it is. And protecting them. So they're ready to hang back up though. 9. Do you do more stitching for gifts or keep them for yourself? I keep them for myself now. I do. Me and Coral, that's it. I don't give them away anymore. People would look at them and go, oh, that's just great. And they'd throw them away if they didn't want them anymore and stuff like that. So, no. 10. What is your favorite project or finish that you are most proud of? Well, I did do 2 mirabilias. I'm very proud of them. They were really, really big. I did the April fairy for her, and I did the November fairy for me. I'm very happy with both of those. I wish I would have done the fabric a little different, but that's fine. I love my little, I think she's called Needlework Woman. She's a woman that's sitting there and doing embroidery, and she has a knitting basket behind her, so I love that one. And then I'm pretty happy that I finished all of my big projects in, I don't remember, like I said, it was either 17 or 18. I did the Flowers of the Month, the 12 Days of Christmas, the Advent Animals, the Snowflower Diaries, what is that one? Oh, I can't remember what that one was called. Oh, well, I don't know. But I'm really happy about all of them, too, that I completed giant projects. Let's see. 11. What has been your least favorite or worst experience while stitching? Well, I don't like when the floss knots. I'm learning to wet it a little bit and it lays flatter. Let's see. What else don't I like? I don't like that you can't, work on everything all at the same time, and you don't get as much progress as you do for, crocheting or knitting. And it just, I try to make it go faster, but that would probably be the thing I don't like the most, is that it's just slow going. 12. What do you love and what do you hate about cross stitch? Well, I love that you can take a piece of fabric and a whole bunch of thread, and you can just make this beautiful picture that you watch, evolve into the finished project. The worst experience, or no, what do I hate? Again, it would be that it's so slow, that sometimes you want to sit down and stitch and all you can get in is 10 stitches because you don't really have time. But I still just love to cross stitch. And I probably will until I can't. 13. Have you introduced anyone else to cross stitch? I tried to our older daughters. I tried to get them to do it when they were teenagers. And the oldest tried, but she gave up. I also tried teaching them knitting and crocheting, and she also did a little bit of knitting, but she doesn't like it either. And then the middle daughter, no, she doesn't like any of it. She likes the finished project, but no. So I introduced them, and they don't care. And Coral doesn't even want to try. 14. What was your first project? Did you finish it? And if not, what was your first finish? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what my first project was. I think it was something for my mom. Because like I said, I did embroidery. I remember when I was pregnant with Coral in 96, I made all 5 of us Christmas stockings out of a magazine. So I stitched each one of us because there was 5 designs in there, and I thought that was perfect So I stitched each one of us a stocking. It's just covered on the back with, I used white Aida because that's all I could find back then. And on the back of it, I think I cut up a sheet or a pillowcase or something because it's just a white cotton fabric. And put our names on the top of it. This was before I knew who she was. I hadn't had the amnio yet. So I just knew that we were having a baby, and so I picked out one that was like, I think it was a toy room. It had a whole bunch of toys in it, and I stitched her name after the amnio. We had the amnio actually in late November, early December, somewhere around there. And that's when I put her name on it. Hers was the last stocking to be done because she wasn't born until April. So, and 15, how do you store your cross-stitch floss? Well, I have 2 of those double-sided boxes. I am using one entire box, and the other one I'm using one entire side. The other side has metallics in it, not acrylics. It's all the DMC and Rainbow Gallery metallics. My acrylic is in a old Whitman's chocolate box that I taped dividers in, and that way they're all lined up with their numbers on top. I have a lot of extra floss that we bought when AC Moore went out of business. Those are in Ziploc bags by numbers. Just a big gallon Ziploc bag, which has all the 100s and 200s and, so on. Then I have a bag of the silks that I have. And I have a bag of unknowns. And when I do my projects, I have those little cross-stitch boxes or floss boxes that I put like my bobbins in and stuff like that. And then I have a giant one that I won. It's an art bin. I won that from embroidery.com when they had a contest like 2 years ago. That one has all of the extra floss in it for my Cinderella and Rapunzel pieces that I'm doing. And that way, everything I need is in there except for the ones. I have one copy in a little box and then a whole bunch in the other box. So, and that's how I store it all. And then it's in a big laundry basket. So, I also have I know it's not part of the question, but I have a Ziploc bag full of my hoops. I have a big plastic canvas tote bag that I made, and that's where all my scroll rods and stretcher bars. Oh, I love stretcher bars too. So that would be part of the frames I use. Yeah, all of that stuff is in there, and parts to the Lowry. And then I have a laundry basket that has all my Q-snap pieces in it. So, okay, so that is all of my answers to the original cross-stitch tag. I'm going to put a little thing on my video on what I'm actually working on. And because I'm making all of these as voiceovers while I stitch, and that way I can concentrate while I stitch and make the voiceovers go over the stitching, and that way I'm not interrupted by stitching and stuff, because it's really hard to do both at the same time. So that's all I got for now. Please subscribe, comment, like. I try to at least heart, thumbs up, whatever you call it, in the comment section. I'm not getting very many comments, so that's easy to keep up with. And I'm just coming back into this. This is just going to be an extra thing I'm going to add to my channel in between my 2-week updates. So that's all I got. Bye for now. Hi, this is Tori from hobbysTORies, and today I'm doing a Stitch With Me video, and I'm going to answer some questions of FlossTube tags. Today's question, well, this question is the cross-stitch wish list tag, and it's only got 2 questions, so there'll probably be more tags in this video. But this one starts with, oh, and I'll have a link below. The first one is, what are the 3 top patterns you dream of stitching? Well, I already did stitch the 2 Mirabilias that I really wanted to. But there is a Mirabilia mermaid that I really like. I can't remember her name. No, I can't. I can't remember who stitched her, but there is one that's really huge. Andromeda? Is that her? No. I don't know. I kind of like her. She's really pretty. She has a lot of beads. Dream of stitching. I do want to do all of the free Mirabilias that she gave out on her website. There's a whole bunch of angels there. I would like to do all of them. And I really want to do, it's more than 3, but I want to do all of the patterns that I bought the magazines for. I have a big pile of magazines that I bought specifically for certain patterns, and I'd really, really love to do all of them. And then 2, what do you want to start stitching in the next 6 months or a year? Okay, well, I kind of started a rotation again. I think I have 16 projects going. So I really want to have those finished. There's no way they're going to be done this year. So I'm really hoping that they're all going to be finished by the end of 2021. And hopefully that they will be. I mean, I'm trying to, I have 2 more that I need to start, and then they're all going into a rotation so I can start getting them done. And then my focus piece is my geisha from Joan Elliott that I work on every single day. So, okay, that's all the questions in this one. So I'm going to have to pick out another tag. So we'll be back with that one. Hi, this one is a Stitch in Time tag. 3 questions. 1, what is your favorite finish? I've said it before. The Needle Worker Woman. I love that one. Other than that, probably our Mirabilias, because they were really, really big, and they took me quite a while. And they're the only 2 Mirabilias I'll probably ever do, other than her little freebies. I mean, there's some on my list, but I don't know. I might not ever get to those. 2, show us some of your backs. Okay, so I'm going to have to take some pictures, and if I have any, I'll show them right here. And they're not clean. They're not fancy. You can't turn it over and say, ooh, which side is which. They're usually very messy, knotty, tails hanging out. I do cross country. So, yeah, they're not pretty. And then 3, loops, knots, or tail. How do you start your threads? I don't think I've ever done a loop. I do use knots, Can't help it. It was how I was taught. It's how I learned. It's what I've been doing. And tail, yeah, I try to do a tail, but I try to like tuck it under the stitching as I go. But as you just saw from my backs, that doesn't always work. And then when I end it, I try to go under a few stitches and then clip it close, but not always for there either. So that's it for this tag. That's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting. Bye for now.